Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. There's a company that's promising free global remittances, zero cost, completely free. The company's called Strike. Is this a fatal blow to XRP? I'm not even going to tease you. The answer is no. Most certainly not. And this company, they've actually partnered with Salvador. And check out this headline, actually. President of El Salvador says he's submitting bill to make Bitcoin legal tender. Now, hey, all for it. That's greater adoption of cryptocurrency. You're talking about, in this case, presumably their central bank actually holding Bitcoin in reserve, right? And I don't know all the specifics, but one would assume certainly that would end up being the case here. And I don't know all of the implications of it being considered legal tender within that country, because all of the specifics, frankly, are not made available in the articles that I've seen to this point anyway. But Strike has partnered specifically with apparently the actual government of El Salvador, and we don't know what that looks like either. But I want to talk about this because they're promising something that simply cannot be, at least not for the long haul. So I'm sitting here thinking, you guys are a bunch of liars. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, unless they're going to operate at a loss for some period of time, and then technically it's not a lie, but the message they're delivering at a minimum is highly deceptive, if not an outright lie. So I want to be clear at the outset, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say are right. I'm just an enthusiast who makes YouTube videos as a super duper fun hobby about Ripple and XRP and liars. And that's what's going on here. And so here you go. Here's the Strike website. And in a general sense, I will say nothing against what they're doing. This seems like a direct competitor to Ripple, but rather than utilizing XRP and on-demand liquidity, they're going to utilize Bitcoin and the Lightning Network, which does not work today, at least. It does not work. Not unless you're talking about super duper small payments, and even then, there's not sufficient liquidity to utilize it on some sort of global scale. And so take a look at this, and this is it's always been kind of comical to me because the Bitcoin maximalists, they have been against what Ripple's been doing in positioning XRP as a bridge currency, and they've been ripping on XRP for years and years and years, calling it the banker's coin, while simultaneously saying banks aren't even adopting XRP, yet somehow they still say also at the same time it's the banker's coin. I don't know, Bitcoin maxi logic, I don't know what to tell you there. That's what they're saying, though. So it was a bad idea, and it's not good because it helps the legacy financial system. But then, utilizing, apparently, Bitcoin and the Lightning Network to solve the same damn problem, apparently that's okay with the Bitcoin maxis. And so here's a tweet from Anthony Pompliano, one of the most famous Bitcoin maximalists on the entire planet. And I actually do like the guy. I agree with a whole lot more with him and his ideas about finance and crypto than I actually have disagreements. I agree with a whole lot more. But he like every maximalist, they cross the line. I'm not like offended by it. It's just a bad idea. But they cross the line when they talk about one coin to rule them all, which is effectively the idea he's talking. It's Bitcoin for everyone. Which is why I've made the joke a number of times in the past. It's like, what's that? You wear a size 13 shoe. Here's a size 6. Make it work. Because look, different people and different businesses want different cryptocurrencies for a number of different reasons. Geopolitical reasons, technological reasons, because not every crypto can do everything, whether you're talking about smart contracts or XRP as a bridge currency. There's so many different use cases. There will not be one coin to rule them all. And to try and shoehorn everybody into one crypto will not work. It's never going to happen. Absolutely not. Even if Bitcoin's going to be around forever, that still won't happen. And so he tweeted this out on June 5th. Just the other day. Wait, what the hell day is it? Is it the 6th now? Yeah, it's the 6th. Okay, yeah, so it was just yesterday. He tweeted out the following. I told y'all that Strike was going to be one of the most important companies in the world. Open systems beat closed systems. This is just the start. And here's a tweet from January 30th of last year, 2020. And he wrote, this may be one of the most ambitious projects in all of Bitcoin. Jack Mallers and the Zap team just announced Strike. So I sometimes I hear Strike is the name of the company, but it's the name of the app for sure. And so I think Zap is the company actually. And then Strike, I don't know if they have two technical legal or business entities. Strike is an app though. And then the fastest, cheapest way to send any currency around the world. And so the app works today, but as far as utilizing Bitcoin as a bridge, you functionally cannot do that today. So if you go through, if you're talking about just the messaging portion, they're doing what RippleNet does, what Swift does. It's Swift GPI. It's effectively the same so far as I've been able to tell at this point, because I've done a little bit of research into it. And so the messaging, fine, it's up to date just like any other modern messaging platform is. But in terms of settlement, they don't have a solution here because it doesn't scale. It's not being used. It isn't. You can only have tiny transactions. If they're too big, then the transactions fail. I've heard people all sorts, because there's so many glitches with Lightning Network. I've heard horror stories about people actually losing their Bitcoin and stuff like that. So if you can magically scale it, okay, fine. But then it's not even clear that that Bitcoin and Lightning Network by default just wins out against what Ripple and XRP is doing, because Ripple already has a head start on this use case, frankly, in positioning XRP as a bridge currency. I don't know if you can hear that, but is the mic picking that up? That's my pet peeve. My 6-year-old terrier. She is under my desk. Excuse me. She is under my desk and having doggy dreams. That's cute. I hope the mic's picking that up. Sorry for the distraction, but anyway, that's what's happening right there, in case you were wondering. And so anyway, it's not clear that that Bitcoin and Lightning Network would win out here. And they keep making this claim that it's all free. I think they say it on their website here. Yeah, here you go. A more connected financial world. Send money instantly with no fees anywhere in the world. So just logically think through that. How the hell is it going to be free? Because they have a company with employees. So unless they're the biggest charity case on the entire planet and they're just going to take a loss, employing all these people with their high salaries, no, they're going to have to charge something. Even if it's technically free now, this is highly deceptive because it can't stay that way, because you will go out of business. And there are exchange. In fact, Anthony Pompliano, he was speaking with Raoul Pal, a former Goldman Sachs executive who's the founder of Real Vision. Awesome guy. I'm a big fan of Raoul Pal. Really wealthy individual, self-made, all that. Quite an interesting backstory. But anyway, he was interviewed on Real Vision, and Anthony Pompliano, who's spouting the same lies about how Strike is just completely free. You shouldn't have to pay to send money around the planet. And then Raoul Pal said, yeah, except for it's not really free, is it? Because there are foreign exchange costs. And the obvious answer is yes. And then Anthony Pompliano wasn't prepared to answer that question, and he just pretended like he didn't hear it, and then he just diverted. And I was like, okay, well, there you go. And so it's not going to be free. You have business models, you have exchange partners. If you're going to have liquidity, people aren't going to do all of this for free. So I don't know why they're lying like this. This is terribly deceptive. And even if this works, good for them. I don't mind competition in the least, but it's not clear that Bitcoin just magically takes the lead, even if Lightning Network worked, which today it doesn't. And so XRP is taking over for this particular use case, which apparently Bitcoin maximalists are all for now. And you know, there's this idea that I've been sharing on the channel for some time, which is simply that once a standard is in place, it's very difficult to supplant it. So if XRP is adopted for this use case, yeah. And this stuff magically doesn't just happen, because you have to go acquire customers. There's a cost associated with all of that. You have to offer customer service. Like, these things don't just happen for free. I don't get how they're saying that there are no fees, there's no expense. That cannot be true. Anyone with half a brain knows that. And there are foreign exchange costs. So at a minimum, even without knowing the specifics of their business model, at a minimum, there are always foreign exchange costs. They don't go away. Not even with XRP. You have to convert on exchange. Now, the costs are minimal with XRP, which is why it's so much better than what's happened within the legacy financial system within the last 50 years, but just saying. That's why I tweeted this. Because look, Anthony Pompliano yesterday wrote, they said governments would ban Bitcoin, but instead they're putting it in their reserves. Bitcoin is inevitable. And fine if that happens. I'd like that to happen, because I'm pro-Bitcoin and I'm long Bitcoin. I'm just being real about its shortcomings. And Stuart XRP, a member of the XRP community, wrote, I thought you was against the government, right? Down with banks, down with government. That's what we typically hear from Bitcoin maxis anyway. And so I wrote, he definitely doesn't like XRP and on-demand liquidity helping the legacy financial system, with XRP used as a bridge currency. But if Bitcoin and Lightning Network solve the same exact problem, probably he thinks it's suddenly a good problem to solve. So there you are. Here's Ripple employee Matt Hamilton, who wrote the following. And this is on February 11th of this year. Every time a Lightning Network proponent actually gets into the nitty-gritty, they always end up admitting users will just use centralized custodial wallets instead, which is true. Lightning Network is a lot more centralized than the Bitcoin blockchain. Matt Hamilton also wrote this on February 26th this year. There's a project called Strike, which is basically a copy of what Ripple first demonstrated about 6 to 7 years ago for sending fiat. Only it uses Lightning Network, which is still very experimental and doesn't scale. So good luck with that. And so then there was this headline, President of El Salvador says he's submitting bill to make Bitcoin legal tender. El Salvador is developing a bill to recognize Bitcoin as legal tender. According to President, I'm going to butcher the name, not intentionally, Nayib Bukele? I don't know. In a videotaped announcement shown Saturday, he said he will submit the bill next week. Zap's Jack Mallers announced the news at the Bitcoin 2020 conference in Miami. He said his company is working with Bukele to implement a plan. The bill must still be reviewed by the country's legislative assembly, but with the populist Bukele's upstart political party in firm control of that body, approval seemed all but assured Saturday afternoon. The bill's approval would likely make El Salvador the first nation to adopt a Bitcoin standard. Its full text was not immediately available. So super duper, all for it, and if people want to use it as some sort of reserve, kind of like people treat the United States dollar now, fine, I don't mind that one bit. But in terms of using it for payments, no, not happening anytime soon. If ever, the technology just frankly isn't there. So if it is in the future, fine, whatever. I'll acknowledge that, happy to, but it's not there right now. And so you can see this down here. Here's a quote from Jack Mallers, who created Strike. "We want to make cross-border payments free. We want to solve the remittance problem for places that need it most." Free? What a charity case. Does anybody believe this? Does anybody believe this? Of course it can't be free. Unless they're going to take a huge loss up front, in which case they'll say, okay, technically not alive, fine, but still deceptive. So there we are. And then there was this also. So this is from, I think I had something pulled up. Here we go. Here you go. This is Nayib Bukele. He wrote on Twitter, Bitcoin has a market cap of $680 billion. If 1% of it is invested in El Salvador, that would increase our GDP by 25%. On the other side, Bitcoin will have 10 million potential new users and the fastest growing way to transfer $6 billion a year in remittances. Yeah, right now, if you're talking about it for remittances, my gosh, it's just trading. That's all that it is, and it's still very slow and clunky and costly. He also then writes, besides, a big chunk of those $6 billion is lost to intermediaries. Right. And so Strike is an intermediary, and they're just going to be a charity, right? Come on. Anyway, by using Bitcoin, the amount received by more than 1 million low-income families will increase the equivalent of billions of dollars every year. This will improve lives in the future of millions. Right. And so this is why I've been saying Ripple is one of the greatest forces for good. He's talking about Bitcoin here, but Ripple's doing this today, helping some of the poorest people on the planet. They're a genuine force for good. And then Credible Crypto, a popular chart analyst in the community, wrote, would you like to increase the additional amount received by those low-income families by tenfold? Try XRP. Exactly. No brainer indeed. So no, I'm not worried about some sort of fatal blow to XRP, but some would have you believe otherwise. So there we go. I say bring on the competition, but they don't have a solution for settlement. Even if they're a great payments app, so payments being the messaging portion, they don't have a settlement solution because Lightning doesn't work. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.